And welcome to Glendale, Arizona. And two teams with a lot of hope before the season started. It all unraveled. We'll get to play in Week 16. Dick Stockton, Mark Schlereth, and Shannon Spake with you. It's the Giants and the Cardinals. And Shane Vereen is back deep to receive the opening kick from Phil Dawson. The Cardinals won the toss and deferred. The Giants are getting the ball. And Hunter Sharp also back there for New York. Giants come in with a record of 2-12. The Cardinals are 6-8. And it'll be Hunter Sharp returning from the goal line for the Giants, and he is tackled shy of the 20-yard line by C.J. Goodwin. So Eli Manning coming out again and coming off his best game in 2 years in what was a heavy passing offense last week. So Manning looked good last week, Mark.
He certainly did. Up-tempo offense, quick at the line of scrimmage, false cadences. He did it all last week, but it was all about getting the ball out of his hands and getting into his playmakers' hands as quickly as possible.
Wayne Gallman is starting at running back, the rookie from Clemson who has looked good. Extra offensive lineman and rolling out to throw on first down, and Gallman makes the catch, and it may have a first down, and he does. So taking a look at the Giant offense, so they scored the most points they did all year last week in a losing effort against Philadelphia, 29, and a very heavy pass offense early on.
It was, and it's all about protecting number 10, making sure those edges are protected with tight ends and running backs. Keep the pressure off Eli.
And a first down from the 30-yard line. And here is Gallman with the carry. And he'll pick up about 3.5 yards on first down. The Arizona Cardinals defense, there may be no better defense in the game in the last 4 or 5 weeks.
They have been outstanding, playing championship-level football these last 6 weeks.
With the hurry up and the pass off the hands of Lewis. Incomplete, and that'll bring up 3rd and 6, but Manning put it right on the hands of Lewis. And since week 6, the Cardinals first in passing and total yardage, 3rd against the run, and now it'll be 3rd down and 6. And you're looking at one of the great pass rushers, Chandler Jones, and the ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage, and so the Giants will have to kick, and it was Chandler Jones who comes into the game leading the league in sacks with 15, who got a hand on it, forcing the Giants to punt.
And that guy has just been all over the field. 15 sacks on the season so far, 25 tackles for losses. Chandler Jones having a magnificent season.
Patrick Peterson, always a threat, is back, and Brad Wing will be punting from the 25. Fair catch called for by Peterson inside the 20. And the Cardinals will go on offense. And Larry Fitzgerald, the great Larry Fitzgerald, will be coming out with a new quarterback for the Cardinals in this game. So Drew Stanton, the 10-year veteran, replacing Blaine Gabbert at quarterback. He hasn't played since a knee injury sidelined him on November the 9th. First down at the 20-yard line for the Cardinals. And going to the air is Stanton on the first play, and the pass is incomplete, overthrowing John Brown downfield. Well, the Cardinals' problems obviously on offense. They have not scored a touchdown in more than 10 quarters. Last time was in the second quarter early in the month of December against the Rams, and that has been plaguing Bruce Arians' team.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that frustrates Bruce Arians. He always says, we design 6 home run balls a game for touchdowns, like all the way over the top, and we haven't been able to execute in the last 3 weeks any of them.
Second down and 10. In motion is John Brown. And another play action, and the rush is there, and the pass is complete to Larry Fitzgerald. And Fitzgerald will have a first down for the Cardinals as we send it down to Shannon Spake.
Well, hey there, Dick. Happy holidays. So, Giants Pro Bowl safety Landon Collins was listed as questionable coming into today's game. But as far as Collins was concerned, there was no question as to whether or not he was going to play because of that ankle injury. And he told me he practiced on Friday. He feels a lot better coming into today's game than he did last week when he only made it to the second quarter. And you mentioned Drew Stanton. He has a brace on that right knee. It is the first time he's ever played with a brace. Told me he hates it and joked that he might be pulling it off sometime during the game.
All right, Shannon and Kerwin Williams with the first carry of the game. And there is the knee brace.
The issue with the knee brace, Dick, is one of those things when you first put one on, I mean, you've got to wrap that thing up tight. It's got a bunch of Velcro straps. And what ends up happening, we'll watch this, do you start to get leg cramps? Because it always starts to cramp up the calf. And that's what you've got to be concerned with, dropping back all the boot keep game that Bruce Arians has in store for Drew Stanton.
Remember, Carson Palmer was a starter, suffered a broken left arm in week number 7. So the injury situation for the key Cardinals is huge. And here is Kerwin Williams again, and stopped for a loss of 1 by Damon Harrison. And what else does Harrison do was stuff the run. Let's take a look now at the Giant defensive unit. And 32nd overall, 31st against the run, 31st against the pass. Mark, not what was expected from this unit.
No, but Snacks Harrison right there. That guy is a B-gap to B-gap player. When it comes to defending the run, this guy is one of the best in the business, and we'll see that time and time again over the course of this game, what he just did there against the run, defending it.
It'll be 3rd down and 9. DJ Foster has come in and flanking. Stanton gets a pass rush and has to get rid of it in a hurry. A great rush that time. Quarterback pressure by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie on a corner blitz. So the Giants look good defensively on the first series and force the Cardinals to kick.
Yeah, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie right here. And look at his body language. It looks like he's going to peel out of there, but he comes right away. 2 guys, overload blitz, off the edge on left tackle Will Holden. That's how you get it done.
And here's the kick by Andy Lee, and Hunter Sharp is back in a fair catch at the 22-yard line. Penalty flag is down, our first of the game. Eli Manning trots back on the field. John Parry is the referee.
During the kicks, holding, return team number 24, 10-yard penalty, 1st and 10, timeout.
Well, Eli Apple with the penalty will force the Giants back. We're in Cactus Country in Arizona in the desert. We'll be back in a moment. Steve Spagnuolo was the defensive coordinator, now the interim head coach in his 3rd game. The Giants will start from the 13. For their second possession, Orleans Darkwa, and his second effort brings him out past the 15-yard line. Well, the Giants are looking to avoid 13 losses in one season for the first time in their illustrious history. And Mark, who wants to be a part of that?
Nobody wants to be a part of that, but Spags told us, the head coach, that, hey, these guys are sold out for one another. They're playing hard. They're giving us great effort. Just got to eliminate the mistakes.
5 yards on 1st down. Manning getting pressure up the middle. And the pass is incomplete, intended for Roger Lewis.
And Eli Manning getting pressure. Your running back has to step up. He does a good job. And Eli does a nice job on this pressure of actually falling away from it. But you see him off balance, falling away. Just can't get enough on that football over to Lewis.
Deon Buchanan came in on him and knocked him down. Shane Vereen is in the game on 3rd down and 5 as a receiver out of the backfield. Against a good blitzing defensive team. Defense tries to get in there, and Manning's pass to Lewis overthrown, and that'll bring up 4th down. And the Cardinals could be looking at some good field position after this punt. For the Giants, 52 3-and-outs leading the lead.
And when you can't beat man coverage, they're a single high safety, man across the board. You can't beat man coverage. You can't stay in this league. Those receivers have got to get open. They were completely locked down by the defensive backs of the Cardinals.
Patrick Peterson goes back deep. Britton Golden had been the punt returner, had surgery Wednesday to repair an arm fracture, and a penalty flag.
False start. Offense, number 89. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
So that's on Jarrell Adams, and so Giants are backed up some more.
And this is why they lead the league in 3-and-outs. When you can't execute, you can't beat man coverage. You have pre-snap penalties and offsides and holding calls. You're going to put yourself behind the 8 balls in offense.
And Manning protection, and there's the kick. No flag down as Wing goes down, and the fair catch called for by Peterson. And no penalty marker there either, but the Cardinals will find themselves in Giants territory. This has been a long history dating back to the Chicago Cardinals and the New York Giants, believe it or not, back to the 30s. Brad Wing, the Giants punter, almost had that kick blocked and was shaken up a bit, and he came to the bench. Ricky Seals-Jones almost got a piece of it after the 36-yard punt. But the Cardinals are at the Giant 49 as they start their second series. They spread the offense, and Stanton's pass is caught in the immediate tackle at the 45. Jermaine Gresham, tight end, making the catch.
And here you go, is Wing right here up in the air. You see Seals-Jones tries to avoid it, but as his foot comes down, it gets caught on the back of Seals-Jones' shoulder pads, and he was in some serious pain. I thought he was acting at first, but you can see he's got some ankle issues going on over there. They're checking out that ankle, checking out the Achilles.
Second down and 6. Kerwin Williams gets hit behind the line of scrimmage by Jason Pierre-Paul. No gain on the play, bringing up third down.
Man, Jason Pierre-Paul shot out of a cannon. One thing about him, effort. You were never concerned about his effort. Look at him extend, even with the one hand, the club on the other. He extends one arm bull rush into the tight end, Ricky Seals-Jones, and then sheds on the inside for that tackle. Excellent effort. I'm telling you what, such a disadvantage to have one hand wrapped up like that, but he doesn't whine about it. He just goes out and plays.
Boy, and I'll tell you what, aggravated with that broken finger in his right hand, playing hurt, no question. Third down and 6, and the pass is going to be caught for the first down. And a big play there by DJ Foster, the former Patriot, and a quick tackle by Kelvin Shepard, a gain of 8. And the Cardinals now are at the Giant 37, first down.
Really nice job getting rid of that ball. JPP back in the backfield. Gonna give Drew Stanton a little bit of a little mouthful of Rydell right here. Inside move with the club. Go ahead, hit him, and whew, hold on to the football right there. Very nice job by Foster.
Kerwin Williams back into the game, and he gets the handoff. It's going to be a flea flicker, and Stanton throws a wobbler to Larry Fitzgerald, and he makes the catch. He was surrounded by a floating duck and gets 19 yards and a first down for the Cardinals, as Stanton, despite the pressure from Damon Harrison, gets it off.
Well, what did Bruce Arians tell us? He likes to design the home runs. This is more of an infield pop-up right here as Harrison hits him, but somehow Larry Fitzgerald, he delays, he's going to come down, look at him stop his feet, pressure all over him, people hitting him in the neck, he still comes away with the infield fly rule.
Talk about distractions and making a catch. And a first down. Here's Kerwin Williams, and a good play by Kelvin Shepard, and a flag down here as the Cardinals now at the 18 of the Giants.
Holding, offense, number 86, 10-yard penalty. First down.
So that's on the tight end, Ricky Seals-Jones, rookie from Texas A&M, who has looked very good. Bruce Arians, whose team last year won its last 2 games to go 7-8-1, looking to get to 500 with victories in his last 2 this time.
And here he is down here at the end of the line of scrimmage right here, and he's going to get a hold on Landon Collins. He's in there, pressing. There he is. He came across in motion, and you see right there on the edge, hold them up. You just got to let guys go. Once you get to the outside, let him go. He's not part of the play anymore. That's a wide receiver learning how to play tight end. And when you're out there on the edge, you get exposed in those holding calls.
Elijah Penny in at running back. And down is the receiver. And here's Fitzgerald again. And Larry Fitzgerald close to yet another first down. And if it's so, it would be first and goal. But another penalty is down. That would be a 20-yard gain pending the call.
Illegal use of hands to the face, defense. Number 25, penalties declined. Result of the play, first down.
So that's on Brandon Dixon. And another first down. Fitzgerald key in this first quarter.
Fitzgerald in the slot. Look at him get the outside release to create some room in the spin, in the seam right here, and perfectly executed ball by Drew Stanton. And that's what they haven't had in the red zone or in the field from their quarterback. Those perfectly thrown balls. Excellent timing by Stanton and Fitzgerald.
Another 1,000-yard year for Larry Fitzgerald. First and goal from the 8, Kerwin Williams. And he doesn't have any room to run. By the way, Fitzgerald, with 3 receptions, now has caught a pass in 210 consecutive games. That's the 3rd longest in league history behind Jerry Rice and Tony Gonzalez. And the beat goes on for one of the classiest and best receivers this game has ever seen.
The most unselfish receiver I've ever witnessed. Here's a guy that's an ex-receiver his whole career. Bruce Arians comes in here, says, hey, you're going to block, you're going to move into the slot. And at first he was reluctant, but he did it. And look at 90 balls every year he gets. The guy is just a consummate professional.
Second and goal at the 6. And the quick is out to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald looking for some room, gets about to the 3 before Pierre-Paul making the stop. 3-yard gain will bring up 3rd and goal. Drew Stanton leading the charge for the Cardinals here, who have not scored a touchdown in more than 10 quarters, trying to break that here in this first quarter.
Bruce Arians, just be like an early Christmas treat for Bruce Arians if they got a touchdown right here, because he is so frustrated. He's an offensive guy. He's just an absolute guru when it comes to offense.
And a lot of lights on that tree, too.
Yes.
It's the 3rd and goal. Stanton's pass. And Fitzgerald threw him, and good coverage by Darryl Morris, the former Colt, and that'll bring up 4th down. So no touchdowns yet. And the field goal team comes on, led by Phil Dawson.
Well, you've got to be happy about that drive, and you put the ball out there on the outside. It's exactly where you want to throw it, the outside part of the receiver to the sideline, but just a little too high for Larry Fitzgerald. But excellent execution. That's exactly where they want to throw that ball. It's either a touchdown catch or an incompletion. No chance of being intercepted.
21-yard field goal try, and Dawson, who was 4 for 5 against the Redskins, and now has accounted for the last 33 points scored by Arizona, but he gives them the lead 3-0. Cardinals had the ball for over 5 minutes on this drive. Dawson with the field goal, and Larry Fitzgerald with 3 receptions ends up now 9th year with 1,000 or more yards, and that's just the beginning of a laundry list of what he's achieved, Mark.
And with all the different quarterbacks, it's quite an amazing statistic, Dick.
Shane Vereen and Hunter Sharp are back, and the Giants will down it.
Well, speaking of Larry Fitzgerald, the consummate professional, one of the best that has ever played this game, regardless of position, one of the least selfish players that you have ever witnessed in your entire life. And I'm going to tell you something, you know, this could be his last home game, but I'm telling you, it won't because of lack of production or because his skill set has diminished. This guy still has skills to play in this league for a very, very long time.
And they moved him to the slot, and it worked out for him. Bruce Arians sold him on it and said, you're still going to get a lot of balls thrown your way, and they certainly have done that. First down at the 25 for the Giants, trailing 3-0. Manning on the handoff to Wayne Gallman, and Gallman picks up 2.5.
Look at Chandler Jones. Now, Chandler Jones is going to be all over the place. Look at how he roams from side to side, position to position before he gets in his stance, trying to create confusion, and then bam, he's down, ready to play. He is not just a one-trick pony, man. This guy can defend the run.
Second down and 7. Manning under pressure and on the run, and he completes the pass to Evan Engram. Boy, Engram leading the team in receptions and yards. One to watch for sure. Dansby and Budda Baker with a 12-yard gain.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 20. Penalties decline. First down,
So Dayon Buchanan was holding, and it'll be a first down. They declined the penalty, so it'll be a 12-yard pickup for Ingram. Number 1 pick from Ole Miss. Gallman gets some room up the middle, but he's enveloped by Josh Morrow, the defensive lineman. Penalty thrown at the 40.
Holding. Offense. Number 75. 10-yard penalty replay. First down.
John Halapio, the right guard, making his 5th consecutive start, called for holding.
And Chandler Jones, you look at 51 tackles, 15 sacks, 25 tackles for losses. That's absolutely amazing. It just goes to show you he's not just about getting on the edge and creating havoc in the passing game. He'll do the dirty work, man. He'll post you up, he'll create leverage, he'll set an edge, and he'll make tackles in the backfield as well. The guy is a complete football player. I like to call him a football playing Jesse because he just gets it done.
Well, the Giants are going to have to know where he is lining up on every down in this game. No question.
He's one of those guys, when people talk about football players, say he will wreck a game if you don't know where 55 is every time you break the huddle.
First down and 15. Manning flips it out to Gallman, and the rookie running back gets some extra yardage and gets out to the 42 as we send it down to Shannon Spake.
Well, Mark, Dick, Chandler Jones, a complete football player, also a lot lighter this season. 15 pounds he lost before the start of the year. How? Well, he said he went to training camp before training camp. MMA. He was doing 3 a day. Says mixed martial arts has certainly helped body control. He says hand efficiency and a lot more agile and a lot lighter. But he did say, Mark, he didn't think he could take you down.
No one can take Mark down.
He's correct.
Chandler Jones going to his 2nd Pro Bowl. And here's the handoff to Gallman, trapped behind the line of scrimmage, and down he goes. Jones had the initial penetration for the Cardinals, and that set up the play in which the Giants lost.
This is so special. If you don't know what you're looking at, it is so special because you watch him. He'll come down. Now he's going to go trap the trapper first, and then he gets off the trap and goes, makes the tackle.
6-yard loss, but the pass is completed, and the first catch of the day by Sterling Shepard, and another penalty marker goes down. Patrick Peterson was there on the play. Out to the 46.
At the snap, 12 men on the field. Defense. 5-yard penalty replay. 3rd down.
Bruce Arians probably saying, "Who was that?"
Look at Bruce.
If you can read lips, that's exactly what he said.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, when you get into these up-tempo offenses like the Giants do, you're trying to substitute players, you're trying to get your guys fresh, and you can catch a guy with our team with an extra player on the field.
3rd down and 8. Manning gets some time, and another flag is down as he gets it out to Gallman. Well short of the first down, but another penalty.
Offside. Defense. Number 43. 5-yard penalty replay. 3rd down.
So Hassan Reddick, the number 1 draft pick for the Cardinals out of Temple.
You got right here.
Number 43.
You got to understand where the ball is right here. You can't line up in the neutral zone. Try to get out, but a little bit too late.
3rd down and 3. The Giant 47. And Manning with time going downfield, and the pass is intercepted. Antoine Bethea with the interception. So a 3rd down play after a couple of penalties, and there is the pass off the hands of Evan Engram, and the Cardinals will get the ball back. Antoine Bethea with his 4th interception to lead the Cardinals at a forced fumble last week against the Redskins. So the Cardinals on their 25, first down, leading 3-0. Elijah Penny with the carry, gets 2 yards.
All right, so you're going to get right here Evan Ingram, but I want you to watch Eli's eyes as he releases. Freeze it right here. Look at these eyes. He never, ever takes them off, which allows Buffet to get over there and make the play on the ball. Evan Ingram is a great young player. I mean, a great young player. But you've got to hold the safety as a quarterback with your eyes. Otherwise, man, you're just giving a free highway map to that safety.
You're telegraphing it. 2nd down and 8. And there is the pass incomplete, overthrowing Jerron Brown was Drew Stanton. And now 3rd and 8 for Stanton, one of those tough quarterbacks out of Michigan State, like Kirk Cousins is in Washington.
Yeah, used to cover kicks and on all the special teams, personal protector on punt pro, and he just missed one right there because that is one of those home run balls that has been designed in this offense, and you had Jerron Brown right down the sideline with plenty of room toward the edge of the sideline, and he just missed that throw.
3rd down and 8. And a false start call against the Cardinals coming
False start. Offense number 84. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Jermaine Gresham, who was out last week with an illness. Five-yard penalty, bringing up 3rd down and 13. Trying to escape pressure, and the ball is batted up in the air, and it's a free ball. Right now it looks like a fumble has been called, and Olivier Vernon forced the fumble. And they're going to rule the pass is incomplete. A fumble.
Recovered by Arizona at the 11-yard line.
It was Alex Boone who recovered the fumble. It's interesting, the Cardinals immediately brought on their punter. But the Cardinals have it, and Lee will have to kick from the end zone.
Watch the effort for Vernon around the edge here. Gets double teamed. Hits the arm of the quarterback. Stanton right there at the end.
And this Vernon had a strip sack last week, and Hunter Sharp will run it from the 45 and wind up in Cardinal territory. So an interesting start to this game as both teams trying to recover from what has been a tough year. Not going to really recover, but trying to finish strong this year. And right now the Giants have come out playing hard, even though they trail 3-0.
Yeah, and you know, offensively they've had the mistakes. They started off the first drive, had a couple of boot keeps, got Eli outside the pocket. Those things were wide open. I'd like to see them go back to that, get away from the pass rush of Chandler Jones, see if they can create some easy completions for Eli outside the numbers.
I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, as we do to all of you watching the game.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas, my friend.
Number 63, eligible.
So the Giants will start in Cardinal territory, as the Cardinals did on one of their possessions at the 49. Giants at the 48, trailing 3-0. So Olivier Vernon off to another strong start. 1:05 remaining in the first quarter. Darkwa. And he gets to the 45. Well, it has been a dismal season for Big Blue this year. Odell Beckham Jr. suffered a season-ending ankle injury back in Week 5. Eli Manning was benched a few weeks ago. Very embarrassing, bringing an end to his Ironman streak. And because of that, Ben McAdoo and Jerry Reese were relieved of their duties as the coach and general managers. So the Giants are in the search for a new GM. They'll have a new coach as well. And, of course, the future of Eli Manning hangs in the balance as well with the Giants. Under a half a minute remaining in the first quarter. 2nd down and 7. And they go to Gallman this time, cutting up in the middle. And he edges forward close to the 40-yard line. And there is John Mara. You talk about families that have owned teams. I'll tell you what, not many like that anymore. As time is running out, 8 seconds to go in the quarter, and out of the passes ruled, a catch and a fumble by Roger Lewis. Dale Buchanan knocked the ball out of his hands. And the quarter is coming to an end. So the Bidwell family and the Mara family have held court, and it's holiday season. And it was Roger Lewis who recovered his own fumble. That's the end of the first. 3-0 Cardinals.
The ruling of a completed catch and a fumble versus an incomplete pass. We'll review the play.
That's John Parry announcing that the Cardinals are reviewing or challenging the call on the field. It was ruled a fumble recovered by Lewis of the Giants. So the difference between the fumble or an incomplete pass would be yardage here, not possession. Dean Blandino is with us. Dean, what do you see?
Yeah, so the issue here is, did he have the ball long enough to become a runner? It's control plus 2 feet plus time. Looks like he gets a second foot down, but now as he turns upfield, he starts to lose the football. Does he ever put that football away? This is close. I think it's a good challenge. There's a chance here that they could reverse this to incomplete because he never fully controls the football and puts it away, becoming a runner.
All right, Dean, thank you. And they're still having it reviewed in New York. It will not be a turnover in any event. Well, 2 great bowl games are coming our way this week, starting Wednesday on Fox as Arizona takes on Purdue. Then Washington State and Michigan State square off in the Holiday Bowl Thursday on FS1. Here's the ruling. Take 2.
After reviewing the play, the ruling is an incomplete pass. The receiver never put the ball away prior to the ball coming out. Incomplete pass. We'll play the last 4 seconds of the first quarter. Please reset the game clock to 4 seconds.
You were right on the money on that one. It was ruled incomplete, so they reversed the call.
They reverse a call. Now they reverse positions on the field because they've got to go back to the last 4 seconds. And here it is. The ball is in, but as you start to turn, you're adjusting that football in your hands, and apparently the referees feel as though they never got, or Lewis never got, full control of that football before being hit and that thing popping out of his hands and out of his control. So never had full control of the football.
So 4 seconds remain, and at least they didn't have to march very far to replay the last few seconds of this first quarter.
Which is an ex-offensive lineman I appreciate, when you don't have to go all the way down to one side of the field and all the way back to the other. And you know, that's the game we play right now. Possession, how many feet down, do you make a football move, do you survive the ground, all those different things that go into this catch rule that has really, quite frankly, been very confusing, I think, for the majority of us fans, and even for the officials at times, Dick.
So 4 seconds remain, and it'll be 4th down and 2. So the Cardinals are not charged with a timeout as a result of that challenge being successful by Bruce Arians. And now they run up to the line on 4th down and 2. Plenty of time on the play clock. And the play clock runs down, and there is a delay of the game.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
And now the Giants will kick.
Dick, you're sitting at 2-12. You lead the league in 3 and outs. You haven't done much on the season. You're on the road from the 40-yard line. It's 4th down and 2. I don't know. How about going for it? How about making something happen for your football team? How about creating some excitement for your football team and your football fans?
It's not like you're giving up really bad field position either.
No, and it's not like the Arizona Cardinals have been a juggernaut on the offensive side of the ball. They haven't scored in 10 quarters. So, you know, those are the decisions that you make as a coaching staff. I understand it's early, but it's frustrating as a player. You want to be aggressive. Err on the side of aggressiveness.
Brad Wayne will be kicking to Patrick Peterson. And the fair catch called for on the 7-yard line as time runs out. And that is the end of the first quarter.
This is the end, the first quarter.
And we'll be back in 30 seconds after this message from FedEx. So we'll start the second quarter with the Cardinals leading the Giants 3-0. The NFC playoff picture, big wins today by Carolina and New Orleans. A tough loss for the Atlanta Falcons, losing to the Saints. So the winner of the Seahawks-Cowboys game, which is in progress right now, will still be alive. The loser will be eliminated, and now only one spot left in the NFC playoff picture. Well, broadcasting legend Dick Enberg passed away this week at the age of 82. He got his start as the voice of UCLA basketball and wound up working just about every major sport you can name in excellent fashion. More to say about Dick in a second. First down and 10 for the Cardinals, and Drew Stanton on the screen pass out to Kerwin Williams and out of bounds. You know, I first met Dick before Super Bowl VIII, and he told me that with Vince Scully and Chuck Hearn in Los Angeles, he said, you know, I'll never rise above number 3, and how wrong he was. He rose just about above everyone in our profession. He was a class act behind the mic and as a human being as well. We're going to all miss him.
He certainly was. He, I believe, called Super Bowl 32 that I played in, the Denver Broncos against the Green Bay Packers. And you know what? Just one shout out. Oh, my.
That was his trademark. Second down and 7 on the 11-yard line. Williams. Neither team has been able to run the ball at all at this stage. And Ray Armstrong on the tackle, no gain.
Ray Armstrong just hanging on the backside, making tackles in there. You're right. It's been a mosh pit in the running game on the inside between the tackles. Nobody really being able to get a push or create a seam so far in this game.
Brings up third down and 7 at the 11-yard line. A chance for the Giants to bury the Cardinals and get another chance with decent field position. And here's Stanton, and the pass incomplete, intended for Fitzgerald, covered by Kelvin Shepard. So the Giants, who've allowed just a field goal, doing a good job defensively, and they'll force Andy Lee to punt from about his goal line. And there's Hunter Sharp, who was inactive last week. Lee. And Sharp on the run at the 40-yard line, turning the corner and gets into Arizona territory before he is down at the 47-yard line by Budda Baker, who's heading for the Pro Bowl in his rookie year. Well, the news hasn't been good for the Giants in their first 4 possessions, and worse when you look at the fact that Evan Ingram, their leading receiver, is left the field and gone into the locker room. So their top receiver is out now, and it's 1st and 10 at the 47 of the Cardinals, their best starting field position, early here in the second quarter. Dick Stockton, Mark Schlereth, Shannon Spake with you. And Manning looking for a receiver on first down, flush from the pocket, and throws it away.
Eli Manning has to get back to what they did last week when they put points up against the Eagle team, is the quick passing game, the quick strikes, throw the slants, throw the curls. You've got to get the ball out of your hands, throw the flats, quick, create some tempo, and get the ball out of your hands.
Second down and 10. And the quick is out to Roger Lewis But the Cardinals are there, but a gain of about 8 yards. Tramon Williams, the corner, making the tackle.
And this is where they function the best. You see the fake cadence, seeing exactly what coverage they're in. Now let's get the ball out of our hands in 1.5 seconds. You saw the yardage they put up last week. Look at the total yards, 504. It was all about the quick passing game, getting the ball out of Eli Manning's hands in under 2 seconds.
Chad Wheeler is checked in as an extra offensive lineman. It'll be 3rd down and 2. Red Ellison, now at tight end, has come in and the handoff to Darkwa, and he'll be stopped 2 yards shy of the 1st down. They try to run it 1 yard thanks to Rodney Gunter. And so 4th down and 2. And earlier, Mark, you said 4th and 2. They didn't even have as good a field position as they do now, and they will go for it here.
Yeah, and they need to go for it. That time, Dayon Buchanan forcing the issue. I mean, you talk about run, feel, attack the fullback right here. 4th down and 2. Do they get Eli Manning outside with a boot option?
Timeout is called before the play clock runs down. Giants calling their first timeout.
Timeout New York, the team's first. 30-second timeout.
And a good timeout here. Here in the first half, not as crucial. Well, from the producers of American Horror Story and The People versus O.J. Simpson comes a new series on Fox told through the eyes of first responders, starring Angela Bassett, Peter Croza, and Connie Britton. 911 series premiere January 3rd on Fox.
Eli Manning, he notices it. You're going to see right here. That's Tyrann Mathieu. And motion here, you know what we want? We want to get it back over here because you can see the blitz. Look at him. Get over here. Get over here. Help me out. And he runs out of time. So those are the things you need to be aware of. Here we are. 4th down and 2.
And 3 wide receivers line up for Manning. And on 4th and 2, the pass. And holding on to it is Red Ellison, I believe. And a catch made by the former Viking and a 1st down, a gain of 15 with Baker right in his miss. Big play on 4th down for the Giants.
Well, it starts with protection. The first thing you have to do is protect your quarterback, and they do a pretty good job of that right here. You see the pressure, bring in 5. Eli, clean pocket to step up in, and then they have a high-low combo. Low guy in the flat. Eielson running the sail right there toward the sideline. Beautifully thrown ball by Eli Manning. They're on the run.
And without Ingram, other people have to pick up the slack. They fake a handoff to Gallman, and Manning's pass. It'll be caught, and it'll be Roger Lewis, but he's wrestled quickly by Tramon Williams out of bounds, but gets 8 yards.
Eli Manning he understands the pressure. He understands that he's playing behind a makeshift offensive line. He feels it right there, does a phenomenal job of getting the ball out of his hands quickly, but throwing it outside the receiver toward the sideline to make sure the defensive back can't break on it. That's understanding leverage of the defensive players and where you need to place that football.
Manning's thrown 1 interception, but the Cardinals did not capitalize on that turnover. Now it's 2nd down and 2 on the 16 of Arizona. And here's Darkwa, and Darkwa is stopped short of the 1st down, and a terrific tackle made by Buchanan, saving the 1st down on that play.
Boy, they have it set up too, because Flowers, the left tackle, is going to invite the upfield pass rush move. And then look at Dayon Buchanan right here from the inside. Pops inside, offensive line doesn't pick him up, invites the running back to that hole, and guess what? There is no hole there. That is wonderful football by a guy. I mean, that guy's played D-back and safety, and now he's playing middle linebacker.
3rd down and 1, and here is Darkwa, and Darkwa is not going to make it. And it'll bring up 4th and 1. The Giants have yet to convert a 3rd down conversion, and Corey Peters, the defensive lineman, makes the stop. Well, we've seen Steve Spagnuolo go for it on the last time it was 4th and 1, but now he's looking to tie the game, and he'll send his field goal team in.
Cardinals doing a phenomenal job. These big Hog mollies up here on the inside. Look at that. They're stuffing things, letting the linebackers flow and make tackles at the line of scrimmage.
Well, they blocked an extra point, field goal, and a punt last week. Not a shining moment for special teams, but Aldrich Rosas will attempt a 33-yard field goal, and it doesn't look good. It's hooked to the left. No blocks there, but a miss by Rosas, who's now missed 5 field goals on the year, and it remains 3-0 in favor of the Cardinals. Well, after the missed field goal by Rosas, the Cardinals, still with a 3-0 lead, will have a first down on their 23. Christmas Eve here in Arizona. We wish you all happy holiday, Merry Christmas wherever you are. First down, and it's going to be Larry Fitzgerald on the end around, and the option pass, and it's going to be caught by Jaron Brown. A little wrinkle for the Cardinals, and Fitzgerald as a passer completes it for 24 yards.
Can we start 11 at quarterback? That's what I would ask right now, because there's nothing that he can't do. Look at him drop the arm slot, right? I mean, out there on the edge like an old option quarterback, throwing strikes to Jaron Brown.
And a first down at the 44. That was pretty. Play action, and Stanton has some time. And the pass is to Fitzgerald. So he's a passer and a receiver and a first down to the Giant 40-yard line. 16 more yards chalked up by the Redbirds.
Well, that one was a, you know, I mean, Larry Fitzgerald here on the edge. He's, look at it, the outside release, get pressure, and now he's going to come back on the inside. Not a perfectly thrown ball, doesn't lead him, but he just sits down in that hole right between the ones. That's Larry Fitzgerald, man.
5 catches, 68 yards for Fitzgerald, and a first down at the Giant 40. They'll run it with Kerwin Williams, and Damon Harrison knocks him back for a loss of a pair as we send it down to Shannon Spake.
The good news is that the Giants got a little bit of rhythm on offense on that last series. The bad news is they will be going without Evan Ingram, the tight end, one of those key targets for Eli Manning, because he is in the locker room out for the rest of the game with a rib injury. Dick?
That's going to make it tough, Shannon, for Eli, who's lost 3 wide receivers on the same week. Week 5, including Odell Beckham Jr. So this offense getting more decimated here. It'll be second down and 13, and the quick to Fitzgerald, but the Giants smell it out beautifully. Olivier Vernon and Brandon Dixon both there. No gain.
And there he is, Damon Harrison. We saw him make that tackle in the backfield. This is a guy who's an alternate for the Pro Bowl. And the only reason he's not in the Pro Bowl is because he doesn't rush the passer. That's not his job. B-gap to B-gap, call him B&B, not bread and breakfast, but B-gap to B-gap, because I'll just call him the landlord. He owns the space between one B-gap and the other B-gap. That is his. And I'm sure he loves to go to bed and breakfast.
Yeah, and he would love to be at the Pro Bowl. I'm happy about the snub, by the way. Third down and 13, and overthrowing John Brown, who's covered by Brandon Dixon downfield. So fourth down, and Andy Lee will come in to kick it away for Arizona.
There's those shots we're talking about. One thing about Bruce Arians is he's going to take his shots down the football field. You know, there's an old saying, touchdown to check down. They just take the check downs out. They're going for touchdowns here in Arizona.
He told us what, there's 6 of them he has in his pocket?
Yeah, we've already seen about 4.
Andy Lee kicking. Hunter Sharp flagged down. Sharp with a fair catch at the 12. And it's a hold against the Giants. Preliminary signal from Parry.
During the kick, holding, return team, number 36, half the distance to the goal, 1st and 10, timeout.
Ryan Murphy with the hold, and that will set back the Giants. Old Town in Scottsdale. The Giants will be starting from their 6-yard line following the holding penalty on the punt. 9 penalties so far issued in this game, 5 against the Giants. Darkwa on first down. Maybe a yard. Shannon Spake.
Yeah, Dick, what an emotional couple weeks for Eli Manning. When we spoke to him this week, he told me that they have been the most challenging since he started playing football. He said his career, his future in the league, everything was uncertain. 1 week at a time has been his mantra, Dick.
Right now, his mantra is let's get a first down. Second down and 10. And the pass is caught by Lewis, hit immediately by Williams, the 34-year-old veteran. And Eli Manning, who's a class act, saw his consecutive streak, longest active by a quarterback end. Third down and 6. And a great catch by Rhett Ellison will give the Giants a first down as they cross the 20-yard line, picking up 11.
It's a big first down for Eli Manning. Eli understands coming off their own end zone, if they're forced to punt, you're going to give up an opportunity for the Cardinals to score and get the ball coming out at halftime. So really big, stepping up in front of the pass rush from Chandler Jones and making a throw to Ellison.
From the 21, first down. And the handoff is to Gallman, and Baker is there immediately for the tackle. Kurt Menefee with a game break from LA. Kurt?
Sometimes it helps to be in the right place. His first reception as a Jaguar, tipped, ends up in a touchdown for Jalen Strong from Blake Bortles' 5-yard score. Jags have scored 16 unanswered to tie the 49ers because Tennessee lost earlier today. Jags have already clinched the AFC South, Dick.
All right, Kurt, thank you very much. What a season for Jacksonville. No one gave him any kind of a chance at the start of this year. And the quick to Gallman. Gallman has running room and still on his feet, and they didn't bring him down until he's about a couple of yards shy of the first down. So Wayne Gallman, who had 79 total yards against the Eagles last week. It was Dansby who missed the tackle, and now it'll be third down and 2 for the Giants. Quick count. But Gallman is stopped in his tracks by Deon Buchanan, a yard shy of the first down. That was a big play by Buchanan, the second big one he's made in this game.
And Deon Buchanan is very small in stature, but boy, let me tell you what, I don't know how he shows up on Mondays after he's done playing, because he's small, but he is quick and he is powerful, and he is afraid of no one, making tackles in the backfield once again to stop the Giants on third down.
So Brad Wing will be kicking, and you saw Patrick Peterson back deep for the Cardinals. And the fair catch by Peterson at the 21. Well, the early game headlines here in Week 16. The Saints and the Panthers both won and clinched playoff berths in the NFC Playoff Derby, and the Kansas City Chiefs, after a midseason slump, clinched the AFC West Division Championship. Todd Gurley having a great year for the Rams. They clinched the NFC West with a road win at Tennessee against the Titans.
How about the turnaround of the Rams? I'm telling you what, just go out and get yourself some offensive linemen, start to run the ball, develop your young quarterback. The Rams, what an exciting football team they are.
Well, what a turnaround for them.
No question.
3:05 to go in the half. First down and 10, and bobbling it and making the catch was Kerwin Williams. Seahawks Cowboys underway right now with Seattle leading 7-6 with a minute and a half to go in the first half. The loser of that game is out of playoff contention. Atlanta is teetering on the edge, although right now they are the 6th team at 9-6. Lost to New Orleans today. It'll be first down and 10. Here's Kerwin Williams again. And of course, you talk about a lot of the injuries suffered by both teams, but David Johnson going down with a wrist injury in the opening game really was a tough blow to this club early on.
Huge, and I talked to Larry Fitzgerald about this, and Larry Fitzgerald telling me that's like, I was like, is that what, a 10% of your offense? And he's like, no. We're talking 20% plus of our offense. I mean, he can run every single route, the comebacks, the slants, the goes, you name it, the curls. the digs, any route, he runs them as well as any wide receiver. So a huge loss to this Arizona offense. About 8th play of the game, and he's done for the year.
Cardinals call a timeout, their first. And Bruce Arians looking at the play card. It'll be 2nd down and 5 at the 37. Cardinals leading 3-0 on a field goal by Phil Dawson. Elijah Penny now the tailback. And Stanton has his pass nearly intercepted by Rogers Cromartie, who played his first 3 years with the Cardinals. The pass intended for the tight end Ricky Seals-Jones. So we mentioned Carson Palmer and David Johnson. Adrian Peterson, still their leading rusher, joined the team, and he went on IR. Mike Upati, the offensive line, and Tyvon Branch and Marcus Golden, just a few of the 14 on injured reserve. There is Carson Palmer, the veteran. Tough year for the Cardinals. 2 years ago, went to the NFC title game. 3rd down and 5. Stanton's pass, and it's caught by Fitzgerald. What a catch by Fitzgerald in stride. And he winds up in Giant territory in a 1st down at the 40, picking up 23.
Larry Fitzgerald, he's the one, not the quarterback, he's the one getting everybody at the line of scrimmage.
7 catches, 91 yards. And the 2-minute warning here. Cardinals are on the march. Larry Fitzgerald has been a big feature in this first half in a 3-0 Cardinal lead. Yes, they love their Larry, number 11, and it's been 11 quarters since the Cardinals have scored a touchdown. They'll have a 1st down at the 40 with 2 minutes to go in the half.
Look at this right here.
One more catch, and he's got 100 on the season again. And Stanton stepping up and nearly had his right arm jarred away, but it was Jason Pierre-Paul who hung in there with him. And there'll be a loss of about 4 or 5 yards on the play. 2nd sack of the game.
And Pierre-Paul coming up right here, pushing. Look at that big club. He just throws it out there with the club. He can't grab, but he was all right. He's got the club.
2nd and 14 out of the backfield is J.J. Foster. And Foster will get it to within 3.5 yards of the 1st down. Ray Armstrong on the tackle, and the Cardinals will call a timeout, leaving them with 1. So Larry Fitzgerald needing 1 catch for 100 for the 5th time in his career.
And look, just understanding the zone right here, settling down. That's what Larry does. But he has been instrumental, catching the big ball over the top. Maybe it's throwing a pass. Doesn't matter. Larry Fitzgerald, do it all. I mean, go ahead and let him run the ball one time. Let's just give him the trifecta right now. Larry Fitzgerald is a consummate professional and just an unbelievable football player. I was standing beside him in practice, Dick, and I like to think of myself as a pretty stout dude. Larry Fitzgerald made me look little, which I didn't really care for. I didn't tell him. I'm just telling you that. I didn't really tell him at the time because
I may tell him.
He's kind of an intimidating factor.
I may tell him you said that. 3rd down and 3. Cardinals with 1 timeout left. DJ Foster is lined up as a receiver. Look at the 3 to the right for Drew Stanton, looking that way, going that way, and the pass intended for Fitzgerald, incomplete. And another flag is down. And it'll be against the Giants, and it'll be an automatic 1st down for the Cardinals.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 54. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Olivier Vernon. So an automatic 1st down here with 1:28 to go and 1 timeout left. Steve Spagnuolo trying to get that defense straightened out to prevent a TD.
These things happen, and they're just accidental. You get the hand to the head right here, throw them down. Now, that's where you have to stop. I understand the accidental hand to the head here, but at that point, stop. When you continue to flow through it, that's just an easy call for the official. You can't have that for the Giants.
2nd time in the red zone for the Cardinals. They have a field goal to show for it. The only score of the game right now. And the pass off the hands of Fitzgerald. He was open. I don't know if he'll ever get an easier catch to make.
wide open on the shallow cross, and Stanton, look at Stanton, he's so upset with him because he throws it behind Larry Fitzgerald. Just had him wide open. That may have scored. That may have been the thing that got him that touchdown. 11 quarters, as you mentioned, without a touchdown. Wide open with a DB in trail, and just an errant throw by Drew Stanton.
8th play of this drive, 2nd down and 10. They're on the 18 of the Giants. And there's a flip to Foster. Foster is buried by Landon Collins, the first time we mentioned his name today. Also going to the Pro Bowl is Landon Collins, and a gain of 5, could have been more.
Landon Collins reading the shovel pass right here.
Shaken up, holding on to his right arm. Collins had been fighting an injured ankle. We said headed to the Pro Bowl. It will be his 2nd year in a row.
By rule, an injury inside 2 minutes is a charge timeout.
Charge timeout to the Giants.
Timeout, New York.
Foster not seeing Landon Collins coming from across the formation. That's just bringing the wood right there. Running through the offensive player. Not to him, but through him. Stand behind your pads, delivering a blow from low to high plane. That's textbook the way you go after a running back.
Well, Collins is up, and he's on the sideline, replaced by Andrew Adams, number 33. Giants charged with a timeout by rule, last 2 minutes, injury timeout. So Collins making his 48th consecutive start. And there is Adams. It'll be 3rd down and 5 for Arizona on the Giant 13. Each team now with 1 timeout left. Stanton 13 of 21 so far, 133 yards. And Stanton's pass caught by Fitzgerald, and a touchdown. You won't see any dances from Larry Fitzgerald. He said the last time I danced was in my high school prom. You won't see anything fancy from him when he scores a touchdown. 13 yards. And how about this? The oldest player all time with 100 receptions and 1,000 receiving yards in a single season. The extra point by Phil Dawson is good, and the Cardinals finally get off the schneid. 11 quarters without a touchdown, and they get one here with 1:01 remaining in the first half.
And Larry Fitzgerald just putting on a clinic on the outside. We're going to run the tight end down the middle of the field so that we can open up and occupy the safety. And Larry Fitzgerald just frees it right there. As he gets pushed around there, he gets the outside release and then gets back inside after they tie up the safety. That's a route running clinic by Larry Fitzgerald. He's done it better than just about anybody else in the last 14 years. Look at these guys. Stanton's so excited. Hey, when you're that wide open, man, you got to hit him. You got to hit him. That's exciting. They love this guy. They love him. Just such an inspiration to everybody that plays for the Cardinals.
He certainly is, and you can see it just by the fans in the stand bringing the different banners. 5th time that he has hit the 100 reception mark. That's his 8th catch. And it is now 10-0 as Dawson kicks off to both Vereen and Sharp. And it'll be Sharp downing it in the end zone for a touchback. And right now, let's check in with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles.
Up next is the Visa halftime, and if you're wondering why the camera's not moving, that's because everybody behind the scenes is right here on camera with us. We wanted to make sure all the hardworking people who bring in the games on Christmas Eve got a little love from us. So from our family to yours, happy holidays. The Visa halftime is next.
And I'll tell you, the guys behind the scenes do a great job, as they do here on our broadcasts each week. 9 plays, 79 yards. Giants from the 25 with a minute to go and 1 timeout left, and the pass is caught shy of the first down by Sterling Shepard. Last time the Cardinals scored a touchdown was in December, late in the second quarter last year. And one-handed catch by Lewis. Was he inbounds? And he was. One-handed catch by Lewis. And a first down, picking up 21 yards.
Lewis down the sideline.
Wow. And the whistle.
Previous play is going to be reviewed.
Now I know he got one foot
catch.
in. Let's see if the second one straddled the line.
This is something they've had a tough time over the last couple of weeks with. Here we go, the right foot down, left foot, left. I think he has both feet in bounds. I mean, I think right here,
got it.
Does he have
One.
control? One. But I think this last right foot is inside, and this is a throw they've had trouble with. You've got the DB over the top, Williams, and the back shoulder fade. If that DB keeps leverage over the top, throw it to the back shoulder. Eli and Lewis have had a tough time connecting on that play the last few weeks. There's the perfect execution when you have leverage on the top by your defensive back, Williams.
Well, he had it in that one hand. It looked like he had control in that one hand, and he did make the 2 steps there. So this is the second challenge of the game by Bruce Arians.
After reviewing the play, the ruling of a completed pass stands as called on the field. First down.
So that
Game clock will start on the snap since the receiver went out of bounds.
So that will cost the Cardinals a timeout. First down and 10. There was no challenge on that play, so Cardinals still have 1 timeout remaining. There was a booth review, no challenge. It was in the last 2 minutes as the Giants complete the pass to Sterling Shepard. Manning just with another completion, his 11th of the game, and they're a yard shy of the first down. Second down, and Manning gets hit as he throws, and it's short, and trying to come in is Roger Lewis. A flag is down as Tramon Williams was defending. Let's see if Lewis was pushing off.
Pass interference, offense number 18. Arizona's elected the penalty, 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
So offensive pass interference against Lewis. Coming up at halftime,
The field was an incomplete
Kurt, Terry,
pass.
Michael, and Tony. The Rams clinching the NFC West. The Saints are in the playoffs. Big game going on between the Cowboys and Seahawks. Right now it's 9-7 Dallas. Second down and 11. Manning off his back foot, and the pass is intercepted by Bethea, his second of the game. Manning threw it off his back foot. There's another penalty down at the 43.
After the interception, during the return, illegal block in the back, number 92. 10-yard penalty, first and 10.
So it was after the interception, Frosty Rucker with the penalty.
Pressure, it always starts with pressure. Cardinals bringing that pressure. Eli just falling away from Martin, number 96. And he just throws an errant pass right here. Going to try to get to the sail route. Antoine Bethea reads it, jumps it from his deep safety position, and that's just an ill-advised. You just can't make that throw. Eli, 14 years in this league, he knows better than make that throw.
Well, the Cardinals still have 1 timeout remaining because there was no challenge. It was a booth review on that catch by Lewis. But Bethea with another interception. Now with 5 on the year to lead the club, and they're going to let the clock run down. The Cardinals will receive the second half kickoff as they score their first touchdown since December the 3rd. And right now, let's take a look at some fun from Week 15 with Sounds from the Field, brought to you by Walmart.com, now offering free 2-day shipping.
Let's take a look at today's first sound.
Time job now, huh? All right, fellas, let's go to work. Big time 12. Let's go!
And we now go to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles for the Visa halftime, which starts now. Larry Fitzgerald with a touchdown catch as the Cardinals lead the Giants 10-0. Cardinals getting set to receive the second half kickoff. And Mark, what can the Giants do to get some offense going and some points before this game gets out of hand?
Well, to get some offense going, number one, you got to contain number 11, Larry Fitzgerald. That's got to happen. They've got to start double teaming Fitzgerald. And then it's the quick passing game. It's the rhythm passing game. You can't run it against this Cardinals team right now. Deion Buchanan is absolutely playing great football. So what you have to do is you've got to get the ball out of Eli's hand quickly down the football field.
Foster will down it there, and Cardinals will start from the 25 as we send it down to Shannon Spake.
Well, Mark, Dick, Steve Spagnuolo told me there's no chance of getting in a rhythm with all of the penalties, particularly because they are an up-tempo offense. He says we haven't been able to get aggressive or conservative, but number 11, key adjustments in this half for number 11, Larry Fitzgerald. I did ask Bruce Arians, I said, hey, we've seen number 11, we've seen him throw it, we've seen him catch it. Any chance he might run the ball? He looked at me and smiled and said, no way.
Yeah, they want him in one piece. You see, he's 34 years old. Let's keep him that way. Thank you, Shannon. Play action on first down, and the pass is caught by Fitzgerald, and a first down past the 40-yard line. First half stats, only 24 yards rushing by both teams in this first half. So it's a passing game, 2 turnovers by the Giants. But Larry Fitzgerald is going to make adjustments, as Shannon said that Steve Spagnuolo wants to do. They haven't done it yet.
No, and the first play out of the gate, what are you going to do? Get it to 11, put it in his hands and see what happens.
15 yards on that one. First down on the 40. Kerwin Williams. Oh, this is the best run of the game, and he got about close to 9 on that handoff. Kerwin Williams, who led the team with 61 yards against the Redskins. His only touchdown was in the opening game against the Detroit Lions. It'll be second down and 1.
He's a between the tackles runner, and Bruce Arians, as we talked to him, told us that he worked so hard the last 3 years on catch. He was like, you can't catch the football, and he's actually pretty decent on the backfield catching the ball as well. A guy that just put in the time, put in the work, but for a small guy, he's a real between the tackles runner.
Yeah, he gets beat up a lot, but he's a tough one. Second and 1. And the running play stopped by Kelvin Shepard. No gain on the play. Let's check in again with Shannon.
Dick, you saw Landon Collins, a safety for the Giants. You saw him holding that right arm towards the end of the first half. He is not going to be coming back to this game. He does have a forearm injury. He went out of the game last week in the second quarter, so this will be the second week in a row that the Giants will not play the second half of the game with that Pro Bowl safety.
All right, Shannon, Andrew Adams, who went in for him the last time, stays in the game now. It'll be third down and 1. DJ Foster. There's Fitzgerald going in motion. Make it Penny, the running back, and Penny will have enough for the first down. Tough runner. First year out of where? Idaho, where my partner attended school.
Do not make me break out the Idaho fight song. Good, tough running right there. That's what he is all about. Just put your nose in there and try to go in and shorten somebody's necks. There he is, right here. Right there, out of Idaho. Had to have a lot of pride. There's not a lot of Idaho guys out there playing in the National Football League. Penny, one of those guys.
Most of them are guards, right?
Usually guard you, we like to call it. One of them on injured reserve, Mikey Potty here, is a great player for the Cardinals.
Terry Kramer of the Packers.
Yes.
You?
Well, that's kind of a stretch.
First down at the 49. Play action, and here comes the pressure. And getting away from Pierre Paul was Stanton, and he throws it away. Good move by Drew Stanton to get away from Jason Pierre-Paul.
Drew Stanton told us that he's like, I was actually surprised that I got the start, but Drew Stanton, the one thing that Bruce Arians said is, I couldn't play him until I knew he could protect himself. You see him spin out of the grasp of JPP, and there's another issue with JPP. You've got, you know, one hand in the club, and you can't bring him down. You can't grip. You can't grasp. One thing you'll always get with JPP, attitude and effort. Going to have a great attitude, going to have a great effort. Those are the two things you can control. But right now with that cast and that broken finger, he can't grip.
Second down and 10. And the handoff is to Kerwin Williams, and Williams cuts to the outside, and Williams, who has the best run of the game by far, finally ridden out of bounds by Darian Thompson, gets 21 yards, a running play that gets that much. Wow.
Exactly, and guess who's going to lead that play right there? Drew Stanton. Remember, we talked about it. Played a little special teams in college. He's on the edge right here. Go ahead, make a play. Get on people's legs, make a block, get everybody fired up. Drew Stanton.
So look at this, 32 rushing yards already after 6 in the first half for the Cardinals. Elijah Penny, more the power back, is in there now on 1st and 10 at the 28. And they give it to Penny up the middle, and he gets 2 yards. Time for a game break. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
Well, Dallas turnovers have led to all of Seattle scoring this one directly. Dak Prescott right into the hands of Justin Coleman. He takes it 30 yards for the pick six. Coleman's second career interception, both this year, both returned for touchdowns. Seattle up 14-9 in a game that the winner stays alive in the playoff hunt. Dick?
And that means, Kurt, that the loser is out of it. Atlanta has to fight off the winner of this game for the 6th and final spot in the NFC playoff derby. It'll be 2nd down and 7 at the 25. Quick toss on the slant, and it'll be a first down to Penny out of the backfield for the Cardinals inside the Giant 20. A gain of 8.
And one thing you love about your backup quarterback, you know, we're quick snap here, so let's get into the snap. So one of the things you like, Dick, about a backup quarterback like Stanton, you know, from a skill set standpoint, he's only completed 52% or so of his passes over the course of his career, so he's limited there. But he gives you that energy. He gives you the fact that he'll run that QB sneak like you just saw. He'll go ahead and get on the edge, and look at Carson Palmer. They love Drew Stanton. They know, hey, listen, man, he's going to grind. He's going to make plays. He'll miss a few, but he's going to bring energy every time he walks into that huddle.
And playing the first game with a knee brace on his right knee, 2nd down and 7. Kerwin Williams lines up as a receiver, and the quick off the hands, incomplete, of Williams. Cardinal quarterbacks, and Palmer was 3-4 as a starter before he broke his left arm. Then Blaine Gabbert came in and really struggled last week against the Redskins, and Stanton's knee was okay to bring him back this week.
Yep, and you've seen him, you know what you're going to get with Drew Stanton, and Bruce Arians told us, said, hey, we're on the same page. He understands me, man. I understand the offense. He understands what I'm looking for, and then it's just a matter of executing those things. But he's on target and on the same wavelength as BA.
11th play of the drive on 3rd down and 8, and here is Stanton, pumps once, throws, touchdown, John Brown. Well, Larry Fitzgerald doesn't dance, but he'll take part in another guy's touchdown. Talk about being on the same page, Mark, as the head coach. Third touchdown catch of the year for Brown. Stanton's second of the game.
Oh, there's what we talk about.
Bill Dawson. Misses off right. Missed an extra point. Dawson's third miss of the year. Nonetheless, the pump fake and the second touchdown pass by Stanton to John Brown, and it's 16-0 Cardinals. Very impressive scoring drive by the Cardinals. 11 plays, 75 yards. They've done well in the red zone. And the big play was the 33-yard or the 21-yard run by Kerwin Williams in a game that the running game has been missing in action. So Dawson will be kicking off. Green and Sharp are back deep, 16-0 after the missed extra point by Dawson. And the Giants will start from the 25.
Pretty simple route combination. What you're going to get is you're going to get just a scissors, basically. So they're going to exchange responsibilities here and try to free up John Brown underneath. There he goes underneath. Touchdown, perfect, but watch Stanton's reaction. He gets the inside route. He's so excited. Everybody, he just wants to go hug somebody, right? Let me have some fun over here.
Why not?
And John Brown's one of those guys that they are just so excited to have him back. They thought he had sickle cell. He had issues. Found out he had a cyst on his spine, have drained it. Now he's back playing. They're so excited to have him back.
Inactive the last 4 with a toe injury. And on first down, Eli Manning needs to get something going, and he completes it to Sterling Shepard. And Shepard may have a first down.
And here you go, quarterback comparison. And here's the big changeup right here, right? 2 versus 2 picks. And listen, you're in a situation here. You've lost your most dynamic player in Evan Ingram. You can't afford to throw those interceptions, obviously.
Galman carries a bunch of red jerseys out to the 41-yard line. Under 9 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Dansby making the tackle. He was shaken up last week against the Redskins. Had to come out. Second down and 3. Make a handoff to Galman. And the pass is caught again by Shepard at midfield. First down.
Well, the 2 interceptions. First, Eli stares down the receiver the whole time, which allows Antoine Bethea to get over there, and then just avoiding contact, falling away from the contact, throws an errant ball up there once again.
And this pass, miscommunication thrown behind Roger Lewis. Hurry up offense by the Giants here, trying to get something going in a hurry, down 16-0.
And that's what's tough. I mean, you've got young receivers, you got guys you don't have great rapport with. You're trying to throw something on the back shoulder. He runs a go, and it's a ball out there on the sideline that falls harmlessly incomplete.
Second down and 10. They flip it out to Galman. Galman gets by Dansby and then finally is stopped about 2.5 yards shy of the first down in Cardinal territory at the 43 by both Budda Baker and Dale Buchanan. Gain of 8 yards for the Giants.
Down 16-0 right here. Third down and 2.
2 down territory, right?
Yes.
Manning gets it knocked away. And it's recovered by the Giants. Manning with a little help from the center, Brett Jones. And it was Chandler Jones who forced the fumble. And that'll bring up fourth down. And the Giants will bring in Brad Wing.
It was actually 96 Kareem Martin who forced the fumble right there with Chandler Jones on the assist off the other edge.
So now Wing will be punting and Patrick Peterson is back deep. Cardinals have at least 1 sack in every game this season. It's been a great defense the last several weeks. This ball will bounce at the 10 and take a Cardinal bounce into the end zone for a touchback. So Drew Stanton, who has thrown 2 touchdown passes, 184 yards, comes in with a 16-point lead when we come back. Well, Drew Stanton installed back at the quarterback spot for the Cardinals with 2 touchdowns. Kerwin Williams with a 21-yard run today. And Larry Fitzgerald has been all everything, including a passer. First down and 10 at the 20. The slant. And the slant is caught by Jerron Brown.
And, you know, there's a lot of Giants fans over there going, what happened last week? You know, Eli Manning threw it for over 400 yards. Well, I'm telling you right now, this Arizona defense, they're lining up in man coverage with a safety over the top, and they're just saying, we dare you to throw it against us. They're locking up these receivers. They're shutting them down before they get off the line of scrimmage, and Eli Manning's finding it really tough to find completions.
Bethea with his first 2 interception game. 5 on the season. Number 41 getting a breather right now. Second down at 4. And here's Williams trying to protect the football, and gets close to a first down. Another flag down. 13th penalty of the game called by this crew.
Holding. Offense, number 69. 10-yard penalty replay, second down.
That was Will Holden, rookie from Vanderbilt, making his first start last week.
That just sent shivers up my spine. You know how many times I've heard that over the course of my career. Holding number 69. Yeah.
How many times did you hold in your career? Did you know?
Every play. I held every play. But like, how many times did I get called? There's a difference when you're asking me how many times I held and how many times I get called.
You know, on the television, we would have put a graphic up saying,
yes,
you know, Schlereth is called for 10% of his holds.
I used to have people in the neighborhood go, what happened on that holding call? Like, really? You're going to ask me that?
Second down and 14. You'd rather hear Merry Christmas.
Yes.
They flip it out to Elijah Penny. And Penny is tackled by Andrew Adams, who's come into play for the injured Landon Collins. So the Giants have lost Collins, their star defensive player in the secondary, as well as Evan Ingram, their top receiver, who went out with a rib injury. Neither one returning. Third down and 8 from the 22. I think the passes worked today for the Cardinals. They got third down and 8, and Stanton puts it on the money, and a first down to Larry Fitzgerald. Now the pass is incomplete. Did not see a signal. And now another official is coming in where the ball was ruled incomplete. Incomplete. No
on
question.
the ground, no question about it. But boy, Larry Fitzgerald, he sold it, right? He made you think he caught it.
The ruling on the field is a completed catch for a first down.
Well, that has to be reviewed.
I'm not so sure of that.
No, I mean, right here, the ball on the ground,
No, it doesn't
right
have
here.
control.
But then both hands come off the ball right there, and he's laying on it on his stomach.
New York is challenging the previous play of a completed catch for a first down.
We may not know what a completed pass is, but we know what an incompleted pass is.
Well, that's for sure. But Larry, how Larry Fitzgerald sell that to the officials? I mean, they're not used to. Larry Fitzgerald is the most amenable, the kindest guy, right? He came up there with that stink eye look in his face, and they were afraid to call it incomplete. Oh, okay. I guess you did catch it. Look at him. Here he goes on the ground, gets it trapped, makes the sell, and then he's like, are you kidding me? Did you not watch me last week? I brought the flag back to you and handed it to the official, right?
It was ruled a completed catch. Dean Blandino, you know, how can you rule against Larry Fitzgerald for anything, right? Dean?
Well, Larry's made a lot of catches in his career. I don't feel this is one of them. He has to get firm control of the football before it touches the ground. I agree with you guys. He doesn't have firm control. Uses the ground to make the
play,
catch.
it's an incomplete pass. The
You're
ball
right.
hit the ground prior to the receiver having firm control.
Thank you, Dean. Go ahead, finish.
Down. Please reset the game clock to 5:06. Right hash, 22-yard line.
Dean, he had to have control of it as he went down, obviously.
That's exactly it.
New York is not charged with the timeout.
And Larry is one of those guys, usually that's an automatic catch. Hands a little twisted there, and you can see him laying on top of that ball. He's still trying to sell it on the sideline. It's over, Larry.
No one's buying.
It's over, man. You got a bunch of catches. Let that one go.
Andy Lee will kick from inside the 10. And Hunter Sharp back deep for the Giants. Ball bounces, and Sharp will pick it up on the high hop and won't get far. And now they say he went out of bounds at the 20-yard line. So he went out of bounds, and that's where the ball will be dead. Pushed there by Jerron Brown. So a 56-yard punt by Andy Lee. Been a big day for Larry Fitzgerald, despite
Reeling the field
an
is the
incomplete
return
pass.
man.
Even at the break, look, he's saying, hey, over here I had one. No, over here on this jumbo screen I had one. I had one. I'm the man of the year, for crying out loud. Come on now. Give me a call. Larry, you didn't catch it. That's in the break. He's still heated. There he is right there. Last year's NFL Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Eli Manning, they shared that award.
Eli shares it with him last year.
Now Eli has a first down on the 20-yard line, and here is Paul Perkins. First time he's been in the game as a running back, and picks up 3 yards.
Eli Manning last year, co-Man of the Year, Walter Payton Man of the Year with Larry Fitzgerald, as we mentioned. And I'm talking about two class acts, two guys who have represented themselves, their families, and this league exceptionally well.
Here are the models. Second down and 7 from the 23. Wayne Gallman back in. And Gallman going out as a receiver, and the pass is thrown behind the Red Ellison, the tight end, but he makes the catch nonetheless and gets it out to midfield for a 27-yard gain. And a first down for the Giants, who trail 16-0.
Eli Manning just put it on Rhett Ellison down the seam right here, and Dion Buchanan, good coverage, but puts it on the outside. Dion coming in from the inside to cover that, and really nice ball there by Eli to get them started on this drive.
Giants need points to get back in the game. Kelman, nothing doing. Send it down to Shannon Spake.
Well, Dick, Mark, the Walter Payton Man of the Year award last year was not the first time that Eli Manning and Larry Fitzgerald have been linked by an award. Let's flash back to 2003, and that is the year that both players were up for the Heisman Trophy. They were both finalists in the 2003 season. That was the first time they met, according to Fitzgerald, but hey, they have had such a career, played in some Pro Bowls, and certainly a ton of respect between those two.
And now, Cardinals and Giants, the two meet once again. And Manning going underneath and completing to Red Ellison. Loses the ball. See if the play was blown dead, and it was about 2 yards shy of the first down. With under 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. The Giants actually will need about 3 yards. And it'll be third down. Officially 3rd and 2.
Manning, and this pass is going to be incomplete, and good play by Budda Baker defending against Red Ellison, who has become a target at the tight end spot since Ingram has gone down. 4th down coming up, and the Giants will go for it on 4th down and 2. They're on the 42 of the Cardinals. Got to get to the 40. Fourth down play, and Manning's pass, and it's incomplete off the hands of Sterling Shepard, who had to be turned around on that play. And the Cardinals very nearly got it back. So the Cardinals will get it back on downs, holding the Giants and holding to that 16-0 lead. Oh, man, it's that time of the year, right? You got Santa, you got snowmen. We need some reindeers, right? I'm going to throw some reindeer antlers on there. That's great stuff, man. I like the antlers with lights that you put on your head. Don't you like those? Those are the best. Those are the best.
First down at the 42 for the Cardinals after taking over on downs after the Giants failed on 4th and 2. Drew Stanton taking one of those shots that Bruce Arians was talking about to you and overthrowing John Brown.
Yeah, Bruce Arians, he loves to take shots, and he's pretty calm right now because when he starts getting heated, when he starts getting heated, you don't know where this collar here on this shirt ends and the face begins. So he's pretty calm right now with a 16-0 lead. Everything is good right now. Got Drew Stanton starting. We're on the same page, but he'd like to hit a couple of those shots, and you saw one right there, an opportunity that they just missed.
20-yard penalty. Pass interference against the Giants, and it was Ross Cockrell, the cornerback, on John Brown. So the Cardinals benefiting, have now first down on the 38-yard line. Here comes the blitz and the handoff to Kerwin Williams, and Kelvin Shepard for no gain, down to Shannon.
Well, Dick, Mark, I'll tell you one way to calm down Bruce Arians is this little guy. Take a look. We all know that the holidays are for family, and Coach Arians is no different. This is his grandson, Aiden. He was down on the sidelines. Check him out. He is styling. And Mark, I know that you're a grandfather. I know you're a popo, so
yes,
you know that this is time for your family, and certainly can do wonders for that mood.
Right. If Aiden had a little goatee, he'd be the spitting image of Granddad. Man, they look just alike. I got to meet Aiden down on the field before the game. Cute little boy.
Too early for horn-rimmed glasses.
Yes, very.
2nd and 10. Stanton, an out, and it is caught by John Brown, and that'll be a first down to the 25. Time for a game break. Here's Curt Menefee again.
Well, if you still had any questions about Jimmy Garoppolo, he may have answered it today against Jacksonville. Look at this throw. On the run, 2 touchdown passes, 1 running, and San Francisco has put up 37 on the #1 defense in the league. That's the most the Jaguars have allowed all season, and there's still 9 minutes to go. Dick and Mark?
Well, we saw him against Houston, and he convinced us, didn't he?
He's special. They've got them one in San Francisco, and he's going to be another one of those elite quarterbacks out of the San Francisco 49ers organization. So excited for Jimmy Garoppolo and the Niners.
They may have the quarterback of the future there. Elijah Penny in the game now, and Stanton getting a rush, and this pass is intercepted by Cockrell, and the touchback. So Ross Cockrell, former Steeler, on the interception after committing a pass interference call. That pass was intended for Larry Fitzgerald, and the Giants, who are the 6th fewest in the league in takeaways, get one here, a big one.
You've got double coverage right here over the top, underneath. Cockrell does a good job of just watching that ball all the way into his hands.
The field is an interception
right there
for
in
a
the
touchback.
corner. Rolls out of bounds. You see him through the end zone. That's a touchback. Very nicely done.
One of the things the Giants defense has not been able to do is get takeaways this year. And for Cockrell, his first of the season. And the Giants on the 20-yard line. 47 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. 16-0. Still within range if the Giants can muster any offense. Paul Perkins, the running back, gets stopped and then picks up a couple of yards.
Dale Buchanan's going to have to start paying rent as much as he's been in the backfield of the New York Giants. They do not have an answer. Boy, that guy just flashes.
Hope it's rent controlled, by the way, if they have that situation. Wayne Gallman is back in there. Seconds tick off for this 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 8. Manning in stride completes the pass, and it's to Travis Rudolph, the undrafted rookie from Florida State. Tramon Williams knocked him out of bounds, but that is the end of the 3rd quarter. The Giants trying to get something going against one of the toughest defenses in the league.
The end.
Cardinals in front,
3rd quarter.
16-0 as we go to the 4th. And we begin the 4th quarter. Dick Stockton, Mark Schlereth, and Shannon Spake. 16-0 to score. Giants trying to get on the board. We'll have a 3rd down and 2 on the 28 of the Cardinals. Wayne Gallman is the tailback for the Giants. Goes out as a receiver. Manning getting rushed and loses the ball. The Cardinals have it, and it's picked up by Robert Kenichi. Kenichi will go in and score. Robert Kenichi picking up the fumble and running it in for the touchdown. Dayon Buchanan, as if he hasn't done enough today. Mark Schlereth had a hand in it, knocking the ball away.
And as I mentioned, Dayon Buchanan has lived in the backfield, coming from about 4 yards off the line of scrimmage. He's on the blitz. He forces the ball, hits the ball out of Eli's hand, and the rest is history as Robert Kenichi takes it to the house.
Defensive touchdown for the Cardinals. And Phil Dawson, who missed his last extra point try, makes good this time. And the Cardinals have raised their lead to 23-0. This was the turnover. Buchanan got a hand on it. Kenichi was there. Cardinals defense, they've been the best in the league, believe it or not, the last 5 weeks. Well, Robert Kenichi, who went to Ole Miss just as Eli Manning did, and the #1 draft pick by the Cardinals last year, the recipient of the fumble, thanks to Dayon Buchanan, who's had a marvelous game defensively today, runs it in 21 yards. His first career touchdown, and the Cardinals lead 23-0. And running back this kick is Shane Vereen. And Vereen bringing it out to the 20.
All right, zone blitz, Dick. So what are we going to get with the zone blitz? We're going to drop here and outside here. Now, watch as this runs. As soon as you see that, now stop. You've got to come back here, and you've got to knock your center off to get this guy, Dayon Buchanan. They don't do it. They don't get it picked up. He creates a fumble, and Robert Kenichi is right there, Johnny on the spot. Oh, look at this. Little present right here. Merry Christmas to me. I'm just going to go ahead and take this thing to the house.
Wasn't even wrapped.
Those kind you don't need wrapping.
First down from the 25. And this pass is caught, and Jarrell Adams has a first down. So Adams and Ellison have to man the tight end role with Evan Engram, who went out in the first half with a rib injury, leading receiver and recipient of 6 touchdowns this year for the Giants. Offense awfully depleted. That was a gain of 11. And Manning on first down gets another pass to the same guy, Adams. Another good catch and another first down.
And the tempo is up. They're just going to keep going. The one place they've had success is to the tight ends around the numbers in the seam. So see if they continue with that, because Adams 2 catches in a row right there in the seam.
From the 47. Early here in the 4th, and going up top, and pass incomplete. Sterling Shepard, the intended receiver.
And you know what? Look at this right here. 51-49 past this guy, John Elway. Guy's personally responsible for putting a couple Super Bowl rings on my finger right there. Thank you, John. I appreciate those.
And who was the Redskin quarterback that got to the other one?
Mark Rippon. Yeah. So appreciate all those guys.
Merry Christmas to them.
Yes.
2nd and 10 at the 47. Manning has time, and it's tipped at the line, incomplete. And it was Josh Morrow who got a hand on it. Well, Eli Manning eclipsed 3,000 passing yards last week for the 13th consecutive season. Only 4 guys have passed for 3,000 or more in at least 13 consecutive seasons. Look at the company that Eli Manning joined.
It's amazing. 4 of the best that have ever done it.
And this pass will be incomplete. So the Giants now 1 for 12 on 3rd down conversions.
Well, but today, you know, it's just an inconsistency right now on the outside. The receivers between Eli. You've seen errant throws. You've seen miscommunications between him and his receivers, and that's the issue they have as an offense. Up front, they're injured. The receiving core is injured. They lost their most dynamic player, Evan Ingram, earlier in the first quarter. It has just been a tough day.
Brad Wing, Patrick Peterson at the 6. Slips on the grass. By the way, the roof has been open today. Beautiful day. Temperature was 68 degrees when we started. It's 23-0. Happy holiday, especially for Arizona. Back here in Glendale, Arizona. It's been a bright day in the desert, a bright day for the Cardinals. On both sides of the ball, they lead 23-0. It'll be a first down on the 15. Here in the fourth quarter, Kerwin Williams with the carry. And a good one indeed, protecting the ball and getting it out to the 22-yard line. 7-yard pickup. Drew Stanton coming back as quarterback after being out with a knee injury. First time he's played since November 9th.
And I like that call. Get some outside runs in. We're going to run inside. They've done that throughout the course of the day. Really haven't been able to get much push on the inside with Snacks on the inside, Harrison. So let's run a little counter. Let's get to the edge. Let's get outside the B-gap, outside the tight ends.
Second down and 3. And Williams with a first down. And Cardinals using the clock and keeping the ball on the ground. Shepard on the tackle. Kerwin Williams, who has a 21-yard gain from scrimmage, the longest run of the contest in the second half. 5-yard pickup there.
And they're going to milk every ounce of clock that they can milk. Running the football, maybe creating, if you get into a third down situation, a play action, but at his heart, I know Bruce Arians likes to go over the top as an offensive coordinator, head coach, but right now he just wants to grind this thing out and get back to Christmas festivities.
No need to do that now. You're right. Williams, and a yard for him. Calvin Munson making the tackle, and he started at middle linebacker for the injured B.J. Goodson today, out with an ankle injury. So Munson with his 5th start, all has been at middle linebacker. He's actually playing the weak side, and Kelvin Shepard moved to the middle.
He trots off right now. 55 Ray Armstrong comes in and replaces him.
Second down and 9. Elijah Penny now in for Williams. And Penny, who gets hit from behind by Jason Pierre-Paul. Well, relive one of the best pay-per-views of the year with a special presentation of UFC 218 tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific on FS1. Jason Pierre-Paul leading the team in sacks with 6.5. Doesn't have any today, but he's made his presence felt for that Giant defense, Mark.
He certainly has. Effort. He's made plays. He's pressured the quarterback. That time they tried to block him with Jerron Brown, the wide receiver, number 13. That's dirty duty right there for your wide receiver.
3rd and 8. And the quick off the hands. And the Giants claiming they had picked it off. It was Ross Cockrell, if he did, on the pass intended for J.J. Nelson. And it is an interception. That's the rule, and of course they review all turnovers, as you know,
to get up and advance the football.
And if it goes, it'll be Cockrell's 2nd interception of the game.
Well, right off the hands of J.J. Nelson on the bubble screen. Look at that effort. And he gets his hands underneath. I agree. That's a catch.
It was very tough to overturn this.
That is, yeah, that's an interception. Got his hands under there. Excellent concentration, keeping his eye on the football as he tapped it up to his body with his left hand.
So now the Giants with their best opportunity. They're on the 26 of the Cardinals. 5 turnovers in the game. And they're going to review it. upstairs.
And this will give that defense an opportunity.
It'll go.
Opportunity to do something special here in your own end of the field.
First down. Manning wasn't ready for the snap. Recovers, throws to the end zone, and it's incomplete. Shepard was the intended receiver. That was a close call for Eli Manning, as the wasn't sure he was ready for that snap from center.
Wasn't ready for it and had his receiver open, and again, lack of connection, lack of continuity out there as the defensive back was spun around. I believe that was Justin Bethel out there that was spun around on the outside.
It was. Second down and 10. Looking right, dumps it off to Wayne Gallman. Gallman inside the 20 and tripped up, and another flag is down. And Buda Baker prevented the first down on that tackle. Penalty may be against the Giants here. It would be the 9th if it is against New York.
Illegal use of hands to the face, offense number 69. 10-yard penalty, replay, second down.
That's the center, Brett Jones. Weston Richburg on IR, and Jones has really had a good year replacing Richburg at center, but the penalty is against him, and they'll place the ball at the 35.
You get to this point of the game as a defense, I mean, you've got a shutout. You want to pitch a shutout. That's what you want to be able to accomplish here, and they've got a lot riding on this. They've played at championship level for the last 6 weeks. They don't want to let that go. They don't want to give up a score here.
Second down and 20. And play action for Manning. And this pass knocked away. Good defensive play made by Tramon Williams. And another flag is down. Travis Rudolph was going after the ball as well. And that'll be a hold against the Giants, so they'll move farther out of range.
Holding, offense number 74.
That's Eric Flowers, the left tackle.
10-yard penalty, replay, second down.
So 2 penalties against offensive linemen. And the ball now back at the 45 of the Cardinals.
Right here, Eric Flowers, and you know who it is. Inside move. You just got to grab Chandler Jones, and look at this right here. Look at the effort. Arm around the neck. Chandler Jones presenting a narrow silhouette there on the pass rush.
Second and 30, and the pass caught by Hunter Sharp. And down he goes, second and 30. They need a lot more than that as Carlos Dansby is there to make the stop. Remember, the Giants had a first and 10 on the Cardinal 26. And now it'll be third and 25 on the Arizona 41. Manning and tries to get it to Gallman out of the backfield. Incomplete, and another penalty.
That's our man Chandler Jones coming around the edge again.
Holding, offense number 74. Penalties declined, result of the play, fourth down.
So it's fourth down. 2 holding penalties on Eric Flowers and another penalty on Brett Jones. And so from the 26-yard line, Steve Spagnuolo's Giants with a golden opportunity to get on the board. And they will go for it on fourth down at 25. They have to get to the 16. Almost a prevent defense kind of situation for the Cardinals. Manning takes off, and he's tripped up from behind by Chandler Jones, gets underneath him. And it was Olsen Pierre who actually got a piece of him. A rough day for the Giants. They've lost some people, stars on offense and defense. Haven't been able to score, down by 23. Well, the Arizona Cardinals get it back stopping the Giants on 4th down. They've done that countless times tonight. 9:09 remaining in the game. And the Cardinals up 23-0. And a first down at the 36. Kerwin Williams gets about a yard. Well, the Cardinals, like the Giants, have some questions that they have to answer. Of course, Carson Palmer, the veteran, just 2 years ago led the Cardinals to the NFC Championship game, losing to Carolina, who then lost to Denver in the Super Bowl. So the question is, what's the quarterback future of this team?
And you have to be, you have to question that. You have to wonder about Carson Palmer, his inability to stay healthy. When he's played well. Blaine Gabbert there, as you saw also.
2nd down and 10 at the 36. Here's Williams again, finds some room off the right side. Kelvin Shepard is there to make the tackle. Let's go down to Shannon.
Well, hey, Dick, so Carson Palmer, he's here today on the sidelines. He was also on the field pregame, but you might not have recognized him. Yep, that's him in a pink flamingo costume. Okay, so what's the deal? All right, so there's a quarterback bucket challenge every Friday. Patrick Pearson, he's involved in it as well. And whoever loses that challenge, well, they have to dress up in a costume that the others choose. Check it out. This is part of the deal, though. He's got to own it, right? So it's not just coming out and walking around in the costume. It is all in. And he was certainly all in.
I think he practiced, Shannon. I think he's
that is a great flamingo pose, and if he'd like to come to my front yard and stand there, well, I can have him do that.
3rd and 7, and incomplete. Fitzgerald, and off the mark was that pass, so it will be 4th down. So we know that Carson Palmer can throw a football. We didn't know he could dance like that.
I had no idea, and I tell you what, I've seen plastic flamingos that didn't put on that kind of performance before. So Carson, good on you. That's the way to own that flamingo suit.
Andy Lee kicking, and Hunter Sharp goes back and unable to keep it in play, and the Giants will get it out at the 20-yard line. Well, the Cardinals coming into this game wanted to do what they did last year, and Bruce Arians told us they won the last 2 last year against the Rams and Seahawks. Wanted to finish strong by winning this game, and next week against Seattle, he's got this one just about in his pocket.
Yeah, and you want to pitch a shutout. This defense right now, in 2015 they finished number 5 in the league. In 2016 they finished number 2 in the league. This year right now, going into this game, number 7. They'd like to be a top 5 finish, never done before in the history of the Cardinals on the defensive side of the ball. So they'd love to see that for this defense.
And of course the Giants, you don't ever want to be on the team that lost more games than any other team in a season. 13 if they lose this one. Last time the Cardinals spun a shutout was against these Giants back in 1992. Gallman looking to go outside, is hit hard by Buffet, who has 2 interceptions today. So the Cardinal defense looking like they want to get that first shutout since 92, don't they?
Yes, in the back of his shoes, right there, Merry Christmas, head across the bow, shoulder through it. Oh, yeah. Welcome to my house. Little Merry Christmas shoes, Antoine Bethea. Nice hit. That's called a form tackle, Dick, right there. Head across the bow, same shoulder, same foot, drive through the offensive player.
And get hurt. And he is coming off the field, replaced by Harlan Miller.
You saw a little Merry Christmas on the back of the heels there. Just gift wrap Gallman.
2nd down and 9. Manning, and he completes it to Sterling Shepard. Close to the first down and has it. Shepard holding on to the back of his neck after that play.
Every pass contested. Just in the hip pocket. Defenders in the hip pocket of these receivers. Matthew running stride for stride on the crossing route by Shepard. As soon as he catches it, they just go down in a heap with Matthew on top of him. Excellent job. Great underneath slot coverage guy. That's who Matthew is. Really fine player.
They may be 2-2 in their last 4 games, but #1 against the run. They showed it today, and #4 overall. 7 trying to get into the top 5, and another completion, but no advance after that. Jarrell Adams makes the catch. Giants have not been able to get anything after the catch on receptions today, which they needed. Under 5.5 to go. 2nd down and 5 at the 35-yard line. Manning steps up, and there's the completion to Hunter Sharp, and Sharp winds up in Cardinal territory at the 44-yard line as we wind down to 5 minutes. That's a gain of 21.
Wholesale changes the whole defensive line. One of them goes off, a whole new group comes on. They're getting gassed right now with this hurry-up offense, this quick strike of Eli Manning.
That was Sharp's first catch of the year, and this time it's Jarrell Adams. Well, 2 great bowl games coming your way this week, starting Wednesday on Fox as U of A, Arizona takes on Purdue, and then Washington State faces Michigan State. They square off in the Holiday Bowl Thursday on FS1. 2nd down and 6 with a hurry up and out of the backfield. Galman with the catch will be about a yard short of the 1st down. Tramon Williams with the play. 3rd down and 1. And the pass is dropped by Roger Lewis, so it'll be 4th and 1, and the Giants, who have gone for it on 4th down today several times.
3rd and 1. Coming with blitz off the edge, man-to-man coverage on the outside. This Arizona Cardinals defense is fearless. They don't care.
No, 1 for 3 of the Giants on 4th down conversions. 1 was for 25 yards, so we understand that. This is for 1 yard, and he's going to throw it, and the pass is thrown behind Travis Rudolph. Incomplete, and the Cardinals once again will take over on downs. The 4th time the Giants, under the interim coach Steve Spagnuolo, have gone for it on 4th down. 3 times have been foiled. So the Cardinals will take over with just under 4 minutes remaining in the game on their 35. If you're wondering, the Giants have not been shut out since the 2014 season when the Philadelphia Eagles defeated them 27-0 in Philadelphia. That's all in play, of course. And all the Cardinals want to do is use up clock. Here's Penny busting out of the middle and picking up about 5.
Elijah Penny doing a great job of understanding as a young running back. I know you want to break one out, but wrapping up that ball with both hands, right? Keeping it close to your body, just cradling that thing, understanding that a turnover is the only thing that can put you in harm's way. We want to possess the ball. We want to eat up this clock, and then we want to get out of here and get some Christmas Eve dinner. That's what we want.
And maybe something tomorrow as well, huh?
Yeah.
Christmas Day. By the way, the Seahawks defeated the Cowboys 21-12 to eliminate Dallas, and Seattle stays alive. 3:11 to go in this game, and the pitch to Elijah Penny, and cutting up the middle and getting extra effort. 1st down at the 46.
All right, well, Dick, here's the them in a nutshell. This is you invest in the stock market, right? This is what we call a volatile stock right here, and that's what the Arizona Cardinals have been. And you know what we got now? We've got this. We've got an uptick right here at this game because we are sitting at 23-0 score, and we are eating up clock The Arizona Cardinals right now trying to finish this thing and get out of here on Christmas Eve.
I think the market's done a little bit better than that.
Yeah, the market has done better than that.
First down and 10 at the 46. Here's Elijah Penny from my partner's school, Idaho, and he's tough like my partner, and he gets 5 yards. Damon Harrison makes the stop, and we're winding down to the 2-minute warning in this game. It's been a day for Bruce Arians' Cardinals. Offensively, defensively, you name it. 2-minute warning. Here's the story of the game, including the guy you're looking at. Cardinals 3 touchdowns today. They hadn't scored in the previous 11 quarters, not since week 13. One of them was a defensive touchdown. Eli Manning struggled with 2 interceptions and a fumble that was returned for a score. And Larry Fitzgerald, 9th season with 1,000 receiving yards, 3rd all-time. And the Cardinals will have 2nd and 6 at midfield. 2-minute warning. And Elijah Penny carries for very little, and Dalvin Tomlinson makes the stop. Take a look at the NFC playoff situation. Well, Dallas has been eliminated and Seattle wins, so it's between Atlanta and Seattle for the 5th and final spot. Seattle will close at home next week against these Arizona Cardinals. And the Atlanta Falcons will face Carolina next week. Bronson Hill in for the first time. And on the pitch, Bronson Hill loses some yards. Well, the guys behind the scenes who make our jobs easy have been fantastic all season, and it's time to give them credit on this holiday season. Our tech director, Gabe Bell, and our tech producer, Matt Battaglia, down in the truck running the show. We have Brent Cohen, Terry Swan, and Tommy Skinner manning the cameras. Keith Dornellis working video. Our audio guys are Bob Charlop up here in the booth and Mark Butler down in the truck. The guys in tape who work the replays that you see all day are Reggie Thompson and Mike Zissis. And the 1st and 10 line you see controlled by Alan Sievers, and the Fox box controlled by Alex Stevepak. And the whistle blows, allowing me to go on. Our great graphics operator is Elisa Arden. And our truck engineers who make sure everything's working are Charlie Rome and Dave O'Connell. We would have no chance without the guys behind the scenes. And of course, P.T. Navarro, our producer, Wayne Wilson, our director, Paul Marmoro, our associate director, and Jonathan Biles, our broadcast associate, who's rooting so hard for Alabama. You can taste it. Our technical director, Matt Battaglia, and the technical director, Gabe Bell. We mentioned him. He gets 2 today. Our spotter's been Bill Garrity, and our statisticians are Emmett McGuire and Chris Adams Wall. They all contribute big time to what we do. Punt by Andy Lee, and Hunter Sharp will call the fair catch at the 9 with 20 seconds to go in the game. There is Skinny, as we call him. No? Yes. Just a nickname.
Absolutely.
Been working with him for about 17 years.
I tell you what, we have a great crew and they do a phenomenal job. We had a little Christmas dinner last night with the entire crew.
Terry Swan.
Terry there, and I'm telling you what a great job.
Yep. Well, the Cardinals going to get their first shutout since 1992. It wasn't in this stadium. And the handoff, which should be the last play of the game, it was at Sun Devil Stadium at Arizona State University when the Cardinals shut out the Giants 19-0. Today, they shut them out 23-0. So the Cardinals will go to 7-8 and a chance to finish 500, and the Giants lose 13 games for the first time in their history in one season. And we'll be back to wrap things up from Arizona right after this.